This is Kathy from Mind Body Solutions. And today we're going to be doing what I call the tortoise practice. It's going to start with the Kurma mudra, which translates into tortoise, and it's going to culminate in Kurmasana. So before we begin class, we're always going to take a moment to kind of center ourselves, get ourselves prepared for our practice. Now, we're going to need quite a few props for this practice for the ultimate tortoise pose. So take a moment to perhaps get another chair that you can utilize. A countertop sometimes can work. You'll also need a blanket, potentially 2 blocks, and a strap. So take a moment, you can pause the video here to gather your items. Now, oftentimes, if you don't have blocks, thick books will work. And if you don't have a strap, oftentimes like the strap of a bathrobe might work, or a towel or t-shirt that it has some kind of flexibility movement to it. So let's begin. Find a position so that you find the best alignment that you can. Look down at your ankles, try to see that they are directly below the knees. Take a moment to see where the tips of your shoulder blades are. If possible, have them directly above the hips. Pay attention to where the head is in space, so we're not kind of slumping forward with the chin or drawing back too far. And then before we begin the mudra, I always like to warm up the hands so that they really take in the full energy of the mudra. So this morning, take the left hand and really pull the webbing or the flesh between the fingers of the right hand. Just draw that skin back. Just really kind of feel that skin moving. And then do the same to the left, where you're taking the right hand and right from the very inner part of the web, you're drawing that skin back. And then open and close the hands a few times. Then take the hands and with enough clapping that you actually feel a sharp tingling in the hands. And then you can take your fist and open up the wrist on both sides. You can pat the back of both hands, the sides, fingertips, and then take the fingertips and make kind of this ball, and then close it in, and then open the hand out again to this ball shape, and then close the hand. And then last but not least, take your hands, open the hands as wide as possible, and then draw the fingers in tight. Take this as you draw the arms in. And then as you release, throw it away. And again, open the fingers as wide as possible. And then bringing it in tight, and then throwing it away. And last time, bringing it in tight, and throwing it away. Now the mudra, I'm going to come a little closer so that it's easier to see. You'll take your left palm open, and you'll draw the pinky, ring, and middle finger into your fist. If it's hard to bring them in, use your other hand to carefully bring those fingers in. Then the right hand, it's the ring finger and middle finger that draws down into the palm of the right hand. And then you take the right hand on top of the left, and the pinky finger will gently touch the extended index finger. The right index finger will touch the tip of the thumb, of the left thumb. And the right thumb will rest on the palm of the hand. So you get this shape. And actually the pressure of the right hand on top of the left hand does help to hold those fingers down with both palms. So then you have this kind of a shape of a tortoise, and you place this just in a comfortable position so that your shoulders are relaxed, your arms are relaxed, and you don't feel like it's a burden or hard to hold this. So you can even just set this in your lap. And with this mudra, what I love about this mudra is this idea that you really can pull yourself into yourself, the shelter of yourself. And then at the same time, extend yourself out into the world. The other aspect that I love of this is that this idea that you carry everything you need, everything that you need inside of yourself, with yourself. You don't need anything outside of yourself. So holding the mudra, relax in the arms, relax in the shoulders. Take a few moments closing the eyes from top to bottom and just breathe. Keeping in mind, you carry everything you need with you at all times. And then carefully open the eyes. Take a glance down at your hands. Release the hands. Place them right on top of your thighs. Just stretch the fingers out. Just kind of move the fingers as they are opened wide along the top of your thighs out to your knees. And release. So this whole practice has this idea of kind of drawing inward and coming out. Coming inward and moving out. And again, culminating in a chair adapted Kurmasana. So let's warm up. Take the right hand and place it on the left shoulder. Bring your left hand and cradle the right elbow. And both hands gently draw down, not tug, not grab, but just kind of gently, that reference drawing both shoulders down. And then gently just drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Open the left side of the neck. Breathe. Carefully bring the head back up to neutral. Release the hands for a moment. Take the left hand onto the right shoulder. The right palm cradles the left elbow. Draw both hands down to remind your shoulders not to creep up by the air. And then gently, with an exhalation, draw the left ear to the left shoulder. And breathe. Carefully release. And then if you have a strap, grab the strap. Open it up. Hold it very lightly, shoulder width or wider if you have tight shoulders, but hold the strap lightly. You do not have a death grip with the strap. From here, just carefully bring the strap up overhead and then bend at the elbows, bring the strap behind to the back of the head. Bring it up, extend up, feel this through your feet and your sit bones and release. Now, if bringing that strap, bending it back with both arms is not available, just bring one arm up, bend at the elbow, and kind of maybe pat your shoulder and back. That would be an alternative. But if you can, gently hold the straps, and you hold it gently so that you can move your hands along the strap as you bring it over. So inhale, bring the strap up. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the side, let the back of the strap just touch the back of the head. Inhale the arms back up and release. 2 more times. Inhale the arms up. Bend the elbows out. Draw them down. Extend the arms back up and release. Last time. regroup, find your sit bones, find your connection. Let your side body grow tall. Inhale the arms up. Let the arms slide out a little bit to bend at the elbows behind the head. Draw the arms up and release. Set the strap aside. So from here, we're going to do 2 cat and cow variations. Do the one that is appropriate for you. The first variation is we bring both hands out, outside of the knees. And with a gentle pull on the arms, we invite the sternum forward. And if it's appropriate for your neck, you can look up. On an exhalation, we kind of loosen the elbows out, drawing the chin down into the sternum, letting the upper back round. Slight tension on the knees. Again, the sternum draws forward, lifting the sternum up toward the ceiling and opening the throat if that is appropriate. And then releasing back to neutral before drawing on the chin down into the sternum, letting the upper back round and curling into yourself. And then coming to neutral. Another variation of this kind of seated cat and cow, if it's available, is to interlace your fingers behind your head, bring the elbows in close, but then as you inhale, straighten the elbows out to the side as best you can, lift your sternum up, and with your head supported with your hands, look up. On an exhalation, bring the head back to neutral first, and then draw the elbows in toward each other as you invite the chin down to the sternum up to the chin, letting the upper back round. And then you do this with your inhalations and exhalations. Do this a few times. So pick the cat and cow that is most appropriate for your body and do a few more just to really open and close. Open the chest and then draw inward. And then whatever variation you were using or doing, release, regroup. And we're going to do kind of a forward extension now to kind of open up the back even more. Again, it's this idea of extending the spine outward and drawing it back in. So one variation for this is to take both palms, place them on the outside of the thicker part of your shin, and really kind of push the palms into the shin. And as you do this, begin to straighten the arms as simultaneously as you extend the spine forward from the tailbone out to the top of your head. And then on an exhalation, the elbows release, they broaden out to the side as you begin to rest your torso on your upper thighs and release your head. As you put pressure into your shins, again, with the palm of your hand and straightening your arms, again, the sternum is invited forward. There is this sense that you have your tailbone to the top of your head is one straight line. And again, as you release, the elbows relax, they move out to the side, the torso rests on the upper thighs, and lastly, the head releases downward. If that is not comfortable for you, take 2 blocks, place them right next to your shins on either side, and use your hands on the top of the block as opposed to pushing into the shins. This gives you more stability. This is the one you will do. From here, and you may need to add some height to both of these blocks. But from here, you're pushing the palm into the block, straightening the arms, and allowing the spine to grow long. And then, just as we did with the other option, the elbows bend out to the side, lower your torso on top of your thighs, and last, let the head relax and release down. With an inhalation, there is again the pressure on the palms, on the bricks, to extend forward, inviting the spine to be straight as best as possible. And then exhaling, bending at the elbows and releasing back inward. Again, this image of a tortoise extending out of his shell, getting a nice full breath, and then releasing and retreating back into the shell. And whichever option you've chose, come back to neutral. Box the side. And we're going to open up our hip a little bit. So if it's possible, take both hands under the thigh of the right leg, lift the foot off the floor a little bit, and then just allow a little bit of movement up and down, in and out, even to draw a little circle with the leg. If lifting the leg up is not available to you, just use your hand to gently kind of windshield wipe the leg, and maybe just kind of gently this sensation of pulling upward and back. But if you can, just try to find a little bit more movement in the hip. Really open up the hip as best you can. And then release for a moment. If you want to find a little bit more movement in the hip, and it's available, you can lift the leg up, place the right ankle across on top of the left thigh. Keep the left hand on the right ankle, the right hand above the right knee, and just a slight, gentle pressure to help open up the hip. When I say light, it's not cranking down on the hip, it's just a reference. If this is too much of a stretch for you, you can place the arch of the right foot against the ankle bone of the left foot. And then again, just this slight pressure on the upper right thigh. Do what's appropriate for your body. And then release. We'll go to the other leg. Again, if it's available, you'll lift the left leg just slightly off the floor and just find some movement. Find a little up and down movement, maybe a little bit out to the side movement, maybe even drawing a few circles in both directions with the knee. Just really feel that joint is becoming a little bit more alive. And then if it's available, carefully lift the left ankle onto the right thigh. The right hand holds the left ankle. The left hand is a slight reference above the knee of the left leg. From here, you can even bow a teeny bit forward and back. It's a pretty intense stretch, but if it's available, just see where it can go. And again, if this is much too big of a stretch for you, take the arch of the left foot just gently against the ankle bone of the right. Keep the right knee steady so it's not flopping off to the side. And again, just a slight pressure with the left hand on the upper left thigh. I like to keep my right hand on the right knee to help it not move out to the side. And then carefully release. So now I think we're warmed up enough to kind of do our apex pose. And it's a little bit involved, and we'll go through it very, very slowly. You'll need another chair or something in front of you. And the feet are going to be out to the side as wider than the legs of your chair that you're sitting on. You can use the chair that this will ultimately be in front of you. You can put your feet on either side of the outside of the legs of that chair to help you. If it's difficult to open your legs, you can take a bolster or some cushion and put that lengthwise onto the legs to help keep them open if you need that extra help. You can also take bolster something this lengthwise and put it right up near the top of your pelvic area to help keep the legs wide. Whatever works best for you. I'm going to go to the side so you can see this, but you will also need a blanket of some kind that sits, the corner of it sits right up against where the crease of your hip bone is. I'm going to move to the side so you can see this a little bit better, I hope. So, the other chair is directly in front of you. Again, if it's available, you can put your feet on the outside of the legs of the chair in front of you. You'll have this blanket pulled right up to your hip crease, and then you'll need support for the head. That could be in the shape of a block on the seat of the chair in front of you. If that's too hard of a reference, take pillows or again a bolster or several blankets folded up. So before you move into Kurmasana, tortoise pose, sit up straight and tall, prepare yourself, and then carefully, I like to push both hands to the top of my thighs as I come forward. From here, you'll reach out to the top back of the chair in front of you, find that straight line with your spine, and then continue forward until your head is resting on your support. Now, if this blanket in your lap is uncomfortable, remove it. But what you need to feel is that your abdominal muscle is supported. So that's what the blanket is helping you, is to support the abdominal area. Again, though, if it's feeling too uncomfortable, just set it aside. If, when you extend forward with this blanket here, and your abdominal is not resting on something, just take the blanket and make it a bigger fold and draw it up. Take your time, move carefully, slowly into the position. Extend the arms out. Find that you have that nice line from the tailbone out to the top of your head, and release your head on your support. Now, in this pose, ideally, you rest in the pose for at least 1 to 2 minutes, really bringing in the breath to the whole back of the body, and try to actually feel that the rib cages are moving outward as you breathe. So I'm going to show this again. I'm going to move my blanket a little bit further down. Sit up straight tall, start to extend forward. Reach the arms up carefully one by one. Find support for your head. And then once you get in the pose, just relax and breathe. Relax and breathe. To come out of this pose, carefully look up. Use your hands, walk your hands back up towards your torso until you are back in an upright position. And again, in your own practice, stay with any of these postures a little bit longer than we have done today. And if you want, as we sit for a few moments in Shavasana, you can again create and end your practice with this tortoise mudra, which is to draw on the left hand, the middle finger, ring, and pinky into the palm. The right hand drawing the ring and the middle finger in, and then placing the right hand on top of the left, with the pinky of the right on the left index, the right index on the thumb, and the right thumb on the palm, relaxing the hands in front of you. And again, as you close your eyes from top to bottom, carry this idea that you carry and contain everything that you need within you. You carry it with you every day, wherever you go. Close the eyes from top to bottom and just take a moment to know that you are never without what you need. Carefully opening the eyes, look at the hands, transform the hands into the classic namaste, bringing the base of the thumbs to the base of the sternum. Lift your chest. Thank your body. Namaste.